Welcome to part 2 of the pulley section view drawing tutorial. Alright, we have one last feature to do, and that's to make the cut. That's to cut a hole through the top of this boss here. So for that operation, we are going to go to the top view. We want to make sure we're looking at it. Okay, so we're going to draw a line as usual, and that line is going to start at our origin. And we'll draw that line straight out, ortho on, and we will do the same thing in the vertical axis. Okay, so the center of our hole, which is dimensioned as 6 inches from the back of the part. So we're going to do an offset 6 inches and offset our part. Okay, so the center of our hole is there. Looks like we have two holes of two different diameters. On one side is a 1-inch hole, and the other side is a 3/4 inch hole. So I'm going to go to a 3D view, and we're going to draw those two holes where their center lines meet. Let's start with the small one. So let's draw our first one, which will be the smaller of the two holes. And it's going to be half of 0.75. Or we changed the diameter, and it's 0.75 diameter. And then I'm going to go ahead and create an extrusion off of that. So I've drawn the circle right on center line. I want to create an extrusion using the circle I just drew. And this one's going to go down. So I want to go down. I want to go down about 6.5 inches. I'm sorry, 3.5 inches. 3.25 inches. That's a little over half the diameter of our boss there, and that way we're ready to cut that hole. Okay, so now let's draw our larger hole on the same center line, and that's going to be a diameter of 1 inch. And let's see if it allows us to do an extrude in the opposite direction. And it does. And we'll go a distance of 3.25. Alright, so we now have two cylinders, one to cut the 1-inch diameter hole on one side, and the other one to cut the 3/4 inch on the opposite side. Let's just go to shaded view so it's a little more, you can see it better. So we've got our two cylinders that I created on center line. And we should be able to do our solid subtract in the same command. So we'll select what we're going to keep, press enter to accept that. We'll select our two cylinders, press enter to select that, and now we have our opposing holes. Okay, so let's get rid of our construction geometry. Actually, we could put that on a layer for center lines. Why don't we just go ahead and do that? We're going to put the center line on our center line layer. And then I'm going to delete the rest of these. Yeah, at this point we're going to make our flat shot. So I'm going to go back to a wireframe mode, and we want our front and our top view. So we'll go to front. We're going to freeze the pictorial views and dimensions, and we're going to select our profile visible lines layer as our current layer. So we're now on step 6, and we're in the front view, and we're going to type flat shot. Okay, insert new block. We're not going to export. We are going to have color by layer, continuous lines, and we're going to do obscured lines by layer, and they are going to be hidden. We're going to create our first shot, and let's zoom. Well, the front view, let's throw our front view down here somewhere, about there. We're going to go 1, 1, and 0 rotation angle. So we've got our view. And now we're going to go to view top. And we're going to type flat shot. Same settings. Great. And I'm going to put that one way up here. 1, 1, and 0. So we've got our top view. Okay, so now we're going to create our section plane, and we need to make sure that we're in 3D wireframe, not 2D wireframe, before we do this. Okay, and we want to be in world coordinate systems. And we're going to use this section plane command. We're going to pick on section plane, and it gives us different types. Now you can draw your plane. We're going to use orthographic view. So we're going to type O for orthographic. And then we want to position our section view on the right side of the part, as if it's a right side facing section view. So we're going to select on right. And you should get this box that shows up, and that's the plane. So let's select the plane, and you should get these control grips where you can change the size of it. And there's this icon here down at the bottom. It looks like an arrow with a line on it. And we're going to right click on that control grip. And we're going to go down to generate section. And it gives us the generate section elevation. We want it on 2D, and we're going to expand the menu and go to section settings. Our section settings on intersection boundary. We want to change the layer to the profile visible lines. For intersection fill, face hatch we want to set as select pattern. We want to select ANSI, and we're going to use ANSI 31. Number 31 is this first one here. Then we'll select OK. Our hatch scale should be 1. We want color by layer. We're going to go down to background lines. We want to change show to no, so it's not going to show hidden lines. We want show yes. We want to no on hidden lines. Layer is going to be changed to profile visible lines. We're going to move down to cutaway geometry. We're going to say no to show. Where hidden lines, no. We're going to scroll down to curved tangency lines. We're going to set show to no. We're going to check the box that says apply settings to all sections. And then we're going to select OK. Then we're going to select create. And then we need to place our view. So let's drag it away. We're going to click, and our scale is going to be 1. 1. And a 0 rotation. Okay, so now we've created our section view, full section view, and it included our crosshatches for us. Okay, now that we have all the views necessary in our flat shots, we're going to move on to step 21 on the procedure, which is to freeze our model, because we don't want to mess the model up. Okay, we're going to freeze the model, and it'll disappear from view. Now we're going to go over to C-size multi-view drawing. Okay, and we're going to set up these different viewports as per our procedure. So we're going to have our front view here, front. Okay, and then up here we're going to have our top. That's good. And over on this right side, we're going to actually put it in top also, because our section view ended up in the top view, the way it ended up turning out. So it's not really going to be a top view. You could make a view called section view and change the boundary on it, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so now we're going to, and then this viewport, of course, is going to be our model layer. Okay, so we should be in 2D wireframe in the rest of our views. And go ahead and center up your views like you have before. And there's our section view. Okay, so we want to set our scale to 1 to 2. That's big. For each viewport. And let's pan to roughly align those views. Looks like here in the top viewport I need to create some space here. And we should have our views roughly equally spaced with our views such that we're trying to center everything on our viewport and leave some space here for the revision block. All right, we're gonna now do a MV setup. And we're gonna align vertically. We're gonna align the midpoint of our top view with the center point of our front view. So those are two are now aligned with each other. I'm going to go ahead and lock those two views. Because I want this other view to be aligned to those. So we're going to go for a similar thing. We're going to go MV setup. And we're going to select the, we're going to align horizontally. And I'm going to select the center point of the view that is the anchor. And then we're going to go to the view that needs to be panned, and we're going to pick the midpoint of the front. And it should align it. Okay, so our views are aligned. They're, equally spaced. We've finished that step. So we've now finished step 28, and we've completed step 29 once we lock this last viewport here. Okay. Now we're going to set our scale. Okay, just to be thorough, we're going to put in our PSLT scale, and it should be 1, which it already is in my case. And then we're going to do an LTS, and we're going to put in 0.5. And that'll take our line weights and put them at the 1:2 scale. Next we're going to prepare our flat shots. Now, I don't think it's necessary to explode our section view, so we're going to leave that one alone. But these other two views, we need to separate them onto their respective layers. Okay, we're going to use Explode. And we're going to select the view, hit enter. We're going to do it by line weight, by layer. Okay, so we're going to be moving all the hidden line geometry to the hidden line layer. For each of our views. I missed a few. Not being very efficient with my selections. Hidden lines. Okay. And then we want to move our visible lines to their proper layer. Load. Pick our view. Press enter. We're going to do the line weight. And we're going to do by layer. Okay, so now that we have all those sorted, make sure all your viewports are locked. You've reached the end of the pulley section view drawing tutorial part 2. Please proceed in part 3.